Hey guys, it's S0ur, and today I have a derpy just for fun video because I recently discovered something pretty hilarious. I say discovered, but it's not like I'm a pioneer. I'm obviously not the first to do this, but I recently discovered it for myself, and I find this very funny. Perhaps I'm just easily amused, but here's the thing. If you're like me, you've probably never used some of the weaker care package modules, such as fast pickup, drone delivery, or hidden. And honestly, why would you? It's a complete waste of a module in my opinion. I'd say some of the best modules in order are support, better odds, and double tap. That's what I use, and then maybe trap is the only other decent thing to run. But I was curious, what exactly does drone delivery do? Because I've never seen it in action, I've never seen anyone else use it, and I had never tried it myself, and it's the only module with a somewhat ambiguous description. Adds thrusters, allowing it to seek you out before landing. That's something we've never seen before, whereas everything else is pretty self-explanatory. What I assumed it did is that perhaps when you called it in and you were within a certain range, it wouldn't just land right where you placed the marker, it would fire off some sort of mid-air thruster blast to land in a spot closer to you than the marker. So I thought, well, that's kind of useless, I'll just let it land on the marker and pick it up like usual. But oh my god, my assumptions were all wrong. This is the funniest thing I've seen in Call of Duty in a long time. You can see I've started to play some gameplay showing off the drone delivery. What it does is when it reaches the marker, it does not land on the ground. Instead, it activates its thruster things and flies around like a pet care package on a leash, trying to reach you at any range. That's right, there's no maximum range on this thing as far as I could tell, no matter where you are on the map. In buildings, on third stories, on opposite corners of the map, your care package will find you. You cannot hide from the all-seeing care package. You'll see that in some of these clips I'm just trying to run away from it just for fun to see if it'll follow me, but it always catches up eventually. So now when I go back and read the description, adds thrusters, allowing it to seek you out before landing. Yeah, I guess that's exactly what it does. I suppose I should have trusted it. I just didn't think that it would have this significant of an effect. This seems like something that would take a good amount of extra time to code into the game, and I didn't think they'd put that much time into a feature that's just a somewhat underpowered care package module. And you'll see that the pathfinding isn't perfect as you'd expect. Right here it kind of glitches through a couple screen walls on green band instead of going over or around. But anyway, now that I know the extent of what this does, this module is actually more useful than I initially thought, because to set up a scenario, if you call in your care package and while you're waiting you get taken out, the guy that killed you might be thinking, nice, I can take this guy's care package. But nope, as soon as it approaches the ground, it's going to fire up those thrusters and hover right over to wherever on the map you respawned. So now, all things considered, what you might want to know is, should I use this on my class? And well, no, it's still easily outclassed by double tap and better odds in my opinion if you're going for straight up what will help you play the best. But I will say, I recommend at least trying it out if you want a quick laugh. And another thing that I can't really confirm is that you might be able to get care package kills this way, since this thing flies around at people level and through buildings. It's only a matter of time before you hit an enemy with it, and I'm guessing that would kill them. That's usually the way COD works. Thinking back to Black Ops 2 on the map Downhill, that's the snowy one part of the Revolution DLC where there are those slow gondolas moving around. If you get hit by one of those things, you just insta-die. That's how I imagine the care package working. But maybe not, maybe it just pushes you out of the way. I don't know, but either way, I bet you can get some ridiculous reactions with this thing. Just imagine you walking through a building, and all of a sudden you get squashed by a flying fucking care package floating its fat ass through the doorway. What makes it so great is that I bet a lot of people won't even know about this module, like me a couple weeks ago, and wonder what the hell just happened to them. They might even think it's some sort of crazy glitch, because it almost looks like one. One last hilarious thing I had to share is this clip. The game ends while I still have a care package trying to catch up with me, and if you didn't know, when you're at this scoreboard screen and you're hovering in a certain part of the map, you're actually coded to count as a floating player in some way. That probably makes no sense, but for an example, you may notice that on this exact same map, Comeback, if walker tanks are active when the game ends, the walker tanks continue to fire missiles at your location in the air here. So watch what happens right before the screen cuts to the lobby. There's my care package floating around in the background. It just floats up the building and flies past in the most hilarious manner, and right before it cuts away, it freezes at the top of the screen there. I can only imagine what everyone else in the game was thinking as they watched that happen. I'm sorry if you don't find that funny. Hopefully I'm not the only one laughing at these flying care packages. I'm sure some people just assumed this is what the module did and their minds were not blown at all, but I was pretty impressed by just how aggressively it chases you around. And after having so much fun with this, I checked out some of the other modules that nobody ever really uses because they aren't too practical, and there are some fun ones like pairing up care packages and extra bomber on the bombing run. This just rains care packages from the sky, and if you manage to earn it, you'll basically be calling in Scorestreaks for the rest of the game. But anyway, that's it for the first half of this video, just having fun with the drone delivery care package. I think you might have some fun trying it out. Definitely let me know if you managed to get a kill with it, and what you think about this module in general. But now for the last bit of this video, I just wanted to talk about a little something that has me pretty excited, but that didn't warrant its own video in my opinion, so I just put it at the end of this video, because I know not everyone is going to be interested in my personal audio setup, so if that's you don't have to stay. But this is the first video I'm recording with a new microphone and a new setup. I finally moved away from the good old Blue Yeti, and I'm recording this with the Shure SM7B. It's a highly rated XLR microphone, very widely used for broadcasting and vocals. It gives a crisp and clear sound, and does a good job at capturing the bass in your voice. In fact, I'll do some audio comparisons just for fun, similar to what I did in a recent video where I gave some Sony Vegas audio editing tips. This is what the Blue Yeti sounds like by itself. Big difference, right? I mean, it's clear enough, you know what I'm saying, and I understand it probably sounds worse because I put it right next to the SM7B audio, but it does lack some of the bass that makes you sound professional to most people. Not that bass is the most important thing in the world and you shouldn't overdo it, but it certainly makes you sound good. So this is what I used to sound like on my live streams and in Skype calls with people, because I had no reliable way to adjust my voice on the go. Now this is what I used to sound like in my videos. This is me on the same mic, the Blue Yeti, but I'm using track EQ and compression editing techniques that I showcased in the tutorial video I made just a couple weeks ago. If that stuff interests you, you can check it out. And finally, this is the Shure SM7B with no editing whatsoever. So I didn't mind my recordings before using the Yeti with editing, so I don't expect people to notice a huge jump in quality, but where I think people will notice is in my live stuff and live streams on Twitch. Having this microphone as well as having the mixer that usually accompanies an XLR mic is very useful for making yourself sound the way you want to in a live setting. You can see with these settings I can do similar stuff to what I just did in Vegas. I can make myself sound super hollow, or I can make myself sound super bassy just by adjusting these settings. There are also a couple other reasons why this was a good time to upgrade. I've been moving all my stuff around the last few days, completely changing my setup essentially, and now I'm situated in a different space. So if I was still using the old microphone, the Yeti, it would sound super echoey in this room, but the SM7B is great at only picking up sounds very close to it and eliminating some of that echo. And also the old on-stage boom stand I was using for the Yeti just to keep it off the same table as my keyboard didn't fit very well in this new space, and it wasn't very convenient to swing around if I wanted to stream a PC thing or if I wanted to stream a PS4 thing. The big stand kind of sticks out and hits things, while these studio arms are nice and convenient. So this is something I'm excited about to up the quality and the convenience of the stuff I do. Some people might think it's a bit silly because when you add up the mixer and the XLR cable and the Rode PSA1 studio arm and the microphone itself, that's going to be running you $500 to $600 invested into a simple hobby. But I'm attempting to justify it by saying that this stuff is going to last me a long time, all going well, hopefully decades without needing to upgrade again. Although that's probably a foolish thing to say, I can always hope. Anyway, that's just something I wanted to cover. I'm excited about this stuff, so I figured I'd give you a little glimpse into my audio world. Some people have asked about the whole full setup tour thing. I'm definitely down to do that, although at the moment my new setup isn't entirely finished, as well as I don't know if there's really a ton of people interested in my gaming setup. I've tweeted out pictures before, but I'll definitely make a full video at some point, probably comparing my old setup and my new setup, because I did get some video before taking the old one down. Anyway, that's probably still a ways away, but that's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Maybe you can have some fun with the drone delivery module, and I hope you enjoyed the new audio for the new year. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time. Maybe you can have some fun with the drone delivery module, and oh my god. That has got to be the worst voice crack of all time, and the irony.